Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Doc Talk. I am Mark Houston, and as you can clearly see, we're not in the normal studio today. Today, we are live at Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium, South Dakota Mines Hard Rockers football game. Joining me today is Dr. Joseph Humpherys, who's an orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine and joint preservation at Monument Health. Thanks for sitting down and doing it with me, Doctor. I appreciate you coming in, and well, I guess I came in. This is your home on a Saturday, kind of, isn't it?
Yep.
How did you get involved with all of this? I mean, sports medicine in general. Did you know growing up this is a path you kind of wanted to take?
No, actually, going into medical school, I thought I was going to do pediatrics.
Okay.
And I remember doing our rotations in medical school. You do surgical rotations. And I'm walking down through the OR, and on this left side is the general surgeons. On the right side was orthopedics. Very quiet in the general surgeons. On the right side, music's blaring, hammers going. I walked and said, "Oh, this is my place. This is what I want to do." So you really turn the corner real quickly.
It's amazing that just loud noises made you.
Yeah, it just looked like a different
career. Well, you work closely here with the team here in the school with Mines and Monument Health kind of together. A lot of people. This pretty soon this will all be full here. We've got a game coming up against Colorado, which is happening today.
Yep.
And a lot of people will be looking on the sidelines. They'll see. Will you be on the sidelines for this game then?
Yeah. So we have the policy at Monument Health that every home football game needs a doc on the sidelines.
Okay.
And there's NCAA policy has recommendations for any collision sports as well. So besides football, a lot of the collision sports such as volleyball, basketball, those things we try and have a doc on the field themselves. But yeah, the sidelines, I'm here. We also have a primary care sports team that's here as well. We want to cover both sides, both from a surgical side or sickness side, and we want to make sure all the athletes are taken care of for sure.
When they see you standing there, they think, "Oh, there's the doctor," just in case something happens. But obviously, there's way more going on behind the scenes here on the sidelines.
Yeah, absolutely. So weekly we have training rooms from athletes for any sport that come and takes care of it. The whole goal is really make sure these athletes can perform at the top of their level. Mm-hmm. So as I came here, it was just really orthopedics. And we brought in sports medicine, we've brought in nutritionists, we've brought in mental performance, we have strength conditioning coaches, athletic trainers. We've really brought a very large athletic component to Rapid City itself, and really wanted to bring the SEC large NCAA Division I feel to this community, because that's what they deserve and that's what they need.
How does that day-to-day activity then, the things that you just described, how does that elevate care for these athletes then on the field? I mean, it must make, in their mind, knowing you're there doing this stuff, when they're in the training room and they're getting ready to come out, they must feel pretty good.
Yeah.
About what's about to happen.
I would agree with that. I'm going to take a little bit of it. I actually don't want them to know me, right? And that's the reality for me. They know the primary care doctor a little bit better. When they see me, usually something's bad going on.
Yeah.
But no, it's actually really good because we get to know the families. We have families all over the country that are coming here. And one of the things we always do is someone's in our training room or hurt. Hey, let's get your mom and dad on the phone. Let's get them involved. We need to make sure mom and dad feel good as well. And then a trainer at the same time is working constantly with him. So an athlete always should know that they have sources for anything from nutrition, weightlifting, injuries, etc. And I guess that's the goal again for them, is to feel like they're taken care of from every aspect.
Well, and you mentioned earlier, it's not just the weight training and the physical side of it, really, but you mentioned nutrition is a part of this too. Mm-hmm. That you guys dive into the mental health even in some areas.
Yeah.
That must give a lot of confidence to these guys and their parents as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. I can give you an example. I had an athlete that had a stress fracture of his tibia. Was not getting better. They actually just came here as a freshman. Every year, every incoming athlete comes in, goes through orthopedics and goes through primary care specialty to determine, do they have risk factors? Do they have anything that could potentially be a risk factor for a future injury? He had a stress injury. And so we quickly jumped on him. We went through biologics. We went through his nutrition, and then started training from that standpoint. So he was a really important case to make sure that there wasn't a nutritional component. And we looked at his diet, his calories, protein intake, all the macros and things, and really dialed that in for him. And great is this week we started running again for him. So that was a big win for him. But those are really important things to have for an athlete.
Yeah, well, I am surprised too on the mental health side of it as well, because you don't hear that talked about hardly ever when it gets to the pros, when it gets to, college sports either. I think that's impressive that you guys step in and kind of take the lead in that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually two components to that. One is the mental performance.
Right.
You can look at positivity, pre-game warm-ups, things of that nature. So we have mental performance. And then there's the mental health. You're a freshman. You just came out of high school. You've had family all around you. Now this is you. You're it. You're by yourself in a new environment. You're stress of collegiate. Like here at big engineering school, stress of a sports. And there can be mental health issues from that standpoint, affecting performance, affecting education, affecting life. And so that's also a really important part. That mental health actually is extended to multiple, not just athletes, but to the student body itself.
Okay.
But we just brought it in specifically for us involved with the athletes.
Well, and you kind of mentioned too, this is an engineering school. It's one of the, I would say in the region, one of the toughest schools to get into and to participate. I mean, if you're going to come to Mines, you're a smart kid. I mean, generally. And then you get these guys out on the football field. And how do you guys deal with that? The aspects of the studying and the pressures that's put on these kids. Well, sometimes you put it on yourself too to want to succeed. And then they come out here on the football field. And I'm just watching some of these guys warm up right now. How do you guys balance that? How do you work with that?
Yeah, so for me, it's a little unique because I'm operating on an athlete, and then they're going to be out of school, they're going to be modifying, and we've been very lucky to develop good relationships with the professors, and Coach Floor does an awesome job advocating for them as well. And so we have to modify their academics sometimes, not from a stance of don't take this, don't do that, but hey, we may need to be more at home doing classes while you're recovering, but it's all about constant communication, and that's the great thing is we have such a good relationship with the trainers, with the coach. I mean, I see Coach Floor all the time outside in the community, and it really makes things easy when we have to modify those for the athletes because of that relationship.
Okay. What do you think about success for this program? Like, what does it look like to you? What's ideally what it looks like for you?
Yeah, so for me, a successful athletic program really is making sure that the athletes are seen quickly, fastly, and are developed high-level care. I tell the athletes all the time, we're treating you as you are going professional. That's the goal, right? Yeah. So we've actually had quite a few football athletes go onto the NFL, and that's how we treat them, and that's what we do, and that's the philosophy across all. I see the high schools we take care of, same thing. We're treating you as you're going to a high-level college. That's what we're going to do. We're Rapid City. It's a little smaller area. We go down to Shadron. We go down to Custer, Hot Springs, all these smaller places. We're still going to treat them. You're going to college. This is the way we're going to treat you.
So you work with the high schools around here too? Same thing?
Yeah. So there's a lot of high schools we take care of. Rapid City Christian, St. Thomas More, Custer, Hill City. We go up into the Northern Hills, Lee Deadwood, Belfouche. We've really tried to branch out hard, bringing that philosophy of, hey, we are a large sports medicine program. We're going to deliver high quality care, fast and quick, and making sure that you get back on the field to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish.
How does that? I mean, Monument obviously works very closely with this team and with this organization and the stuff that you guys do. Does that give you a lot of confidence knowing you have the backing of that as well, coming in to do this?
For sure, absolutely. I remember when I first got here, sitting down with some of the administration, and I just said, hey, if we want to take care of these athletes, this is what we're going to do. Yeah. Doc's going to be on the sideline every time. That was the first goal we had coming in here. Docs are going to be on the sideline. And it's like, oh, well, do you really need? Yes, we need that. Absolutely. We need the athletes to feel confident. We need to feel the coaches. Coaches seeing us all the time, feel confident. We need the community to say, oh, there's a doc on the sideline all taking care. Man, if my son goes there or daughter goes there, I feel confident that I got a doc there. So that was the first kind of push through it. And they jumped aboard very quickly.
Sure. Yeah. Are there schools that don't take it as seriously? Are there some places that don't do as much in this area?
Yeah, so we have kind of an older model where it's the front line is the athletic trainer. And the athletic trainer job is to get the athletes to the clinic and the physicians. That has been a model around for a very long time, probably over the last 15 years, particularly with the studies coming out with concussion and things. It's been like, hey, doctor needs to be on the sidelines. A doctor needs to be involved very heavily. And so that was the take from me from med school residency. I've been on a sideline from that time period, and that's again what we do. It's kind of the need now. So there are schools locally that don't have a doc consistently on the sideline, and that I don't feel is correct for the athletes.
Do you when you're standing on the sideline and you're watching a football game, do thoughts go through your mind about, you know what, this equipment could be better? We should talk about how this affects the player, because you'll see in the NFL now those new helmets, those giant, almost fathead type helmets that people are wearing. Do you think that is the way that football needs to go, with head protection?
Well, I mean, definitely it can mitigate certain things for sure. There's a lot of different things to do for mitigation. So we want to reduce the risk. And there are, one of the biggest things to reduce risk is having a right strength and conditioning coach. Hands-on, we have a strength and conditioning coach that we involve with our colleges. For our high schools, we have sports performance. Exos that we partner with is awesome. They do a great job in risk mitigation. And, you know, their relationship with Hill City, that they go up there and take care of them at St. Thomas More. So those risk mitigations absolutely need to be there. And I am lucky to have a great primary care sports medicine partners, Dr. Takasaki, Dr. Metzler, Dr. Harper. They do an awesome job on the risk mitigation. And it's nice to see those guys really take a hand and say, what do we need to do? What's next?
Right.
Hey, we need a psychology. We need, Dr. Metzler did a phenomenal job bringing in our nutritional team, looking at particularly what's called female triad. Female athletes are very prone to this component. She said, hey, we need services for that. We need risk mitigation. So we have a phenomenal team to create these sports programs, and it's awesome.
If you could tell the community one thing about what it really takes to keep a college athlete kind of healthy and thriving, what would you like to? I mean, what would you like the community to know? Because we watch the game, we watch the sport, and it's football is a dangerous sport. It absolutely can be. But everything you've just described to me is you guys are taking all of the, from what I've heard, the right steps, everything to do what you can do to make sure that these kids leave that field having had a good time, having won, hopefully, and and getting back into the classroom again. Yeah,
we definitely want some more wins. I'll give you that much. I think the reality to me, and what I've always said, is the 3 A's. You need to be available, you need to have the ability, and you need to be affable. Meaning, from a sports medicine team, we need to always be there. They need to know, hey, trainer, hey, we just had an injury at another away game. Hey, you're coming in the next day. You guys get here on the bus at night, you're here next morning. That's the goal. We want athletes in within 24 hours, sometimes same day. That's the big thing from that standpoint. Ability, right? All of us are fellowship trained.
Right.
It's not like we're taking someone who's not spent time on the sidelines. Almost all of us have spent time Division I. Actually, all of us have spent time on a Division I college sideline, on the court, or anything. So we have the skill set, that ability. Then affability is the personable component. How do we build the relationship? So those are the 3 things that we really focus on from Monument Health, that we're always there, we have the ability, and we're going to continue to push. We have some great technology. We just had a partner that came in, Dr. Woodard. He's awesome. He's my partner from an orthopedics. He's bringing in some awesome technology for what are called limb alignments and some of that. So that's the advance. We got to keep pushing, keep going, the ability component from that standpoint. And that's what we're always going to do, and bring at professional, collegiate type level services to these athletes.
What kind of new technology? I love talking about that in the medical field specifically. Is there stuff that's coming out, or things that you see on the horizon that you may end up getting here for this program, or things that you're excited that exist and might be able to come in to help?
Oh yeah, I mean there's just there's a ton of them. So one thing that we're working on is patient specific instrumentation, and that's kind of a large word from that standpoint. But what it means is basically, if I need to modify an athlete's knee, they have a bad injury, a kneecap dislocation, whatever. Sometimes I have to shift the bones around a little bit or fix things. and we want to make that specific to the patient. So we send imaging to a company. They create specific instrumentations for that patient's anatomy, their knee, and so it's perfect. In the past, you're using things that you're like, I think this is right, and it looks okay. Now we know it's perfect. It's exactly. Dr. Woodard's been instrumental in bringing that from that standpoint. There's a lot of new technologies in meniscus repair that we're bringing consistently on that. Hip preservation is another one. When I got here, I brought in a very special table that helps do hip arthroscopy, fixing labor repairs, reshaping the femur. We have new partners coming in that are bringing more technology in that hip preservation component for young athletes as well. So it's a constant push in our orthopedic means, like, what's the next thing we need to do? Obviously, it's caution, right? We're not going to jump to the thing, but there is some caution to it. But what's the next thing to do to bring care that's getting done at large facilities to here at Monument Health?
What's the most common injury you see on the side?
Yeah, I mean, that would require surgery or just in general? Yeah, I mean,
let's go with surgery. Yeah, let's talk that one.
Right. So I mean, football season, it's going to be usually knees. Right. So ligament injuries or meniscus injuries to the knee. Those are the big ones we're going to see. And actually basketball and volleyball as well are probably the bigger ones. More towards the spring and kind of early winter is shoulders. Wrestlers get their shoulders really hurt a lot from that standpoint. And then track, you get a lot more muscle pulls, muscle tears, ankle injuries. So there is a little bit of an ebb and flow. We can kind of pick and choose from that standpoint, but football season for sure is knees.
Is there any way that they'll ever be able to fully protect that area of the body in football, you think?
Yeah.
I mean, the knees have to move, obviously.
Yeah.
Are there anything innovative coming out that you see or you've seen that, like, hey, this is going to go a long way?
Yeah. So if you want to look at how to prevent ACL injuries, there are great studies on pre-season programs to mitigate ACL injuries. And that's where Exos comes in. Our trainers come in. How do we institute this program? So those are clinically shown to reduce the risk of ACL. It actually came from soccer, FIFA.
Oh, wow.
And so we've instituted those here, and we've tried to really push that. Secondly, from a risk mitigation, every athlete that gets injured in our facility goes through a return to sport test, meaning it's not like, okay, it's been 6 weeks, you're ready to go. No. We're going to put you into a facility. We're going to work with a therapist or with a trainer. We're going to take you through 30 well-defined and backed up tests and studies that show, hey, can you perform what you need to perform to get on the field healthy and safe? Yeah. If you can't, you're not going back on. And that's unfortunate. Coaches don't like that, but athletes got to get back at the same level with as lowest risk as possible, as quickly as possible.
Right, exactly.
And so those things are a lot of the risk mitigations that we try and do from that standpoint. There's some studies on, field level, the turf, does that injury, data's kind of out on that from that standpoint, but it's really about making an athlete healthy and strong.
Well, I'm just watching some of these guys warm up out here right now. I can't do half of that stuff. I mean, they're just the stretching alone. You guys have obviously made a huge impact on these guys.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Dr. Joseph Humpherys, you are, like I said, an orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine, joint preservation with Monument Health. Thanks for coming in and talking.
Appreciate it.
And I think there's parents that listen to this when their kids are in sports that need to hear this, right? And know that we have a great hospital in Monument Health that can partner with the sports here in Rapid City to make sure their kids get to go have fun and, they're not messed up. They'll be able to walk again down the road, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I again, just the kind of a closing from that standpoint, parents and family, we want them always involved. And sometimes we have to have the tough discussions of, hey, what's the future of your athlete, different things. But again, the goal is always return to the same level or even better. I can't tell you how many times athletes have gotten back actually better from an injury as quickly as possible and safely as possible.
That's awesome.
Using cutting edge technologies. We have a phenomenal team. I've been here 6 years. I've watched it drastically grow, and we're only going to grow more. I'm super excited for it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Dr. Humpherys. I appreciate you taking time.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.